Om Asatom Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome to the satsang of today. And today I want to speak about meditation some more. Let's see. Because I feel that sometimes there is a misconception or so many explanations of what meditation is and what meditation should be like, that I think it's a good idea to bring it down to the core. You know, basically you could say that believing, religious believing, is a matter of the head. And devotion is a matter of the heart. Knowing is a matter of the head. Experiencing is a matter of the heart. And meditation is the very thing that binds those two together, that connects these two. Of course, humanity has been conditioned through centuries to not believe in themselves anymore, not be able to stand in their own power, or to underestimate your own power. And the worst thing of all, there even are people that even completely deny their own power. It's such a sad thing. And the bad news is, the more frightened one gets, the more difficult it becomes to imagine the immense power, the immense capability that is hiding within you. Within us, each of us, lies the power to simply save this world, to create a planet where peaceful surroundings, clean environments, and hope to a future for all the children will be possible. Never before have we lived in a situation that has been so completely grown as we are today. I know it might sound like this utopic dream world to some of you, but I assure you it's possible. It really is. And it's not even as difficult as it looks like. The only thing we have to do is to let go of our ideas that have been rusted in for all these years. Have to let go of our concepts of right and wrong. How to achieve something and how not. What you have to do and what not. Problem is, however, that the way we have taught our children to look at the world, also the way that we have learned ourselves to look at the world, is to differentiate, to look at differences, which is logical because think of it, the process that babies and little children go through to become grown-ups and to learn and be able to learn. All these things need discernment. All these things need the ability to differentiate, to make a difference. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's very important for this little child to know the difference between a teaspoon and a sharp knife, you know. This brings also the capability to categorize things as being good or bad. And also that is a necessity of growing up. The problem, however, arises that when this same child becomes an adult, all it has learned is to see differences, to look at differences. Even makes the differences bigger in their mind. And thus leans away from everything, disregards everything that doesn't comply with its own patterns of behavior, with its own ideas of the world. Yeah. See, it's my dream that people would finally learn to look towards those things that we have in common, to those things that are in harmony instead of our differences. Then it wouldn't even matter which religion you belong to, what color your skin has. If we all believe in something that gives us the power to better our life and to take control of our lives in our own hand, unity is the only possibility there's left. Oneness is the only possibility there's left. But we are raised with this silly idea that even God himself or herself is judging. And it's a widespread misconception. Because it doesn't matter how big the religions are and how much those religions differ in theoretic content. We find this weird idea of this judging and punishing God, this angry God, in almost all the religions of the world. You know, the God of the Christians, he got them stuck with this hereditary sin. The God of the Jews is vengeful, jealous, and angry. And every religion needs to, or has the need to, kill, destroy, ridicule any people or anybody that looks at religion or God differently than them. But the eternal sin, karma as a punishment, even that, judging of others or non-believers, actually rise out of the fact that we as a whole have identified with our physical shape, with our bodies, with our outside being. We have the illusion that we are, just because our bodies are separated from the source, that we have created this illusion that we are also mentally and spiritually cut off from the source or the universe or God. Yeah. We have reduced ourselves through the centuries to little me's, little independent me's, and lost sight of the big picture. We have become water drops that are telling ourselves we are not part of the ocean. We have become rays of light that's telling us we can exist without the sun. And that very process has led to us more and more focusing on our differences instead of the similarities of that what we do have in common and that binds us. But even the Christian Bible that tells us that we are made in the image of God, are made. It doesn't say, once you follow these and these steps, you will become the image of God. It doesn't say, if you are a Christian and get baptized and go to church every Sunday, you become the image of God. It doesn't say, if you meditate long enough, you become the image of God. It says, you are made, past tense, completed past tense, in the image of God. This knowledge in the Vedic teachings and in the Buddhist teachings is known. So focusing on the differences will create a blind spot. And that blind spot will keep us away of experiencing, seeing this bigger picture. This goes not only for the way we have looked at religion through the centuries. This has become a problem about how we look at life in general. Right? So there are different possibilities, different ways to break out of this. And even science is on the side of meditation when it comes to that, because in the words of the neurobiologist and biochemist Christian Opitz, he is a specialist on brain biology. There is an area in the brain known as the orientation association area that has become chronically active in human beings. And a function of this orientation association area is giving us a place or a sense of direction in space. And this means that if you have dysfunction in that part of the brain by brain damage or whatever, even the simplest, smallest gestures like grabbing a glass of water are impossible, because those damaged brains are not able to differentiate or to see the difference between the hand, the glass, and the space between them. So in a way, on a physical level, it's very important that this orientation association area is working and active. However, like Opitz has found and has claimed in his research, is that the orientation association area has become overly active. And then it's becoming a problem. Because when the OAA is hyperactive, the hippocampus connection will translate this hyperactivity by creating this false understanding that this separation, we are a separate shape and form, not connected to the rest of the world, is considered or experienced as being the truth. And that idea goes further beyond the example of a glass of water, of course. So we can conclude that we have a biological reason even why we have created this fundamental difference between you and me and God, whatever. This is what has kept our sense of being separated, cut off from the source alive. So yeah, we're stuck with that. Of course, there are ways and practices and techniques to get over that idea, to work on this, to experience this oneness, to experience this idea of not separation again. And one of these techniques is, of course, meditation. And there are several meditation techniques. One of them being quite important is the recitation of mantra. And to understand the working force, the working power behind mantras a little more, there is this Sanskrit term called Nadabram, which could be best translated as God and the world exists out of sounds. We could simplify that to everything is sound, vibration. And it's a scientific fact that every movement creates sound. Just think about leaves on a tree. When the wind blows through them, you can hear this whistle of the wind and sound of the leaves they make. Think about a string on a guitar. Once you hit it, it moves, and that movement will make sound. Drop a cup on a stone floor and see it explode, and you will see movement and hear sound at the same time. So we can safely state that movement creates noise or sound. But the beautiful thing about this universe is that there's nothing that isn't moving. Even that we, unrightfully so, experience or see or think of as being solid materials. Like a piece of rock. Or that huge tree in your garden. Even our own bodies. Yeah? Everything is in movement. So everything in the whole of creation is existing out of countless very small vibrating parts. And only because we are not able to see or hear those moving parts with the limitations of our physical ears, we have completely looked over this fantastic dynamic thing that's going on in creation. Everything moves and everything has a sound. And the funny thing is, the same goes the other way around, which means that sound is creating movement. And that's exactly the working force or the working power behind mantra recitation, behind mantras. The healing and working power behind the reciting of mantras and other holy words, the working force to prayer. And words of wisdom and universal truths can create an actual jump or change in consciousness, in awareness. This is what satsang is about. All we have to do is drop it and realize it. That's the simple short version. But there are so many ways to approach that. There are so many ways to explain that and to get there, that the words we use and the words spoken hopefully have their effect on your soul, on your heart, on your awareness and consciousness, not in the least. That's the most important part here. See? Because after, and really right after being completely silent in meditation, to experience that what's unexpressible, music is the next best thing. And this is what mantra is about. Now the word mantra comes from Sanskrit man, which means as much as thinking, and tra is from the verb tre, which can mean to protect against or to liberate. So in a sense, the word mantra means as much as protecting against the thinking patterns that liberate you. Of course, there's the opening of the throat chakra and the heart chakra. When we utter these mantras, that creates a space of emotional and spiritual awareness in which we can completely give over to this awareness and to the singing and to the words. And the great thing about recitating mantras to me is the fact that You know, when you try to meditate, just sit and be quiet, especially in the beginning, people seem to have this problem with the thought process, that they try to stop while the thoughts keep coming up and coming up and coming up. And reciting a mantra, make sure that the brain is occupied with the tone, the words, and the mantra itself. So the brain that would otherwise jump from here to there and everywhere is now contained to just focus on this mantra. Of course, there are many mantras, and we will speak of a few of them on a later stage, definitely. The one mantra I have to mention now is, of course, the Om, the core mantra, the mother of all mantras, it is said. In fact, in Hinduism, they say that the Om is the original mantra. The mantra that was there since the beginning of time, since the beginning of creation. And it was there before this separation of the me and the not me started to occur. So all the mantras, all the sounds of the 52 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, or so it is said, have their source in that one sound, in the Om. And that's why it's called Bhavana, or the holy letter, the holy sound. So another way of looking at it is the mantra Om is a source that shines light so bright that it enlightens every corner in your head, every corner of your mind. One of the most famous yogis there ever lived, Paramhansa Yogananda, he said, if the mind is turned inward and retracted of the identification with the body, the inner light comes into vision, bright and clear. The inner sounds become all absorbing. Om is flowing through your brains. The vibration goes down your spine and throws open the doors of feeling, throws open the doors of heart, and all your body vibrates with the sound of Om. And that's basically, I can speak about mantras for another hour, but I think in these few words, he got to the core of what mantra and mantra recitation means. And of course, there are many mantras that you could choose from. It's important by choosing a mantra that you choose a mantra that is in harmony with yourself, that is easy flowing, that's not too hard to pronunciate in the beginning, because Sanskrit has different sounds than ours. And there's also the possibility of personal mantras. And some gurus tell you, I'll give you a mantra, and if you recite that, you will grow. And I'm pretty sure that works. I'm not sure if you have to pay enormous amounts of monies to get these mantras, because that's the scheme that some would play. And I believe, and I really firmly believe that if you choose a mantra that fits you, the effects of that mantra will be much stronger. So much for meditation and mantra meditation today. I will give some examples of mantras and how to pronounce them and their meanings in our next class. And maybe we can do some mantra recitation together. And it all depends on how busy the class gets. For now, I thank you for your time. As always, be present. Namaskar.